Hi there, good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. Welcome to my December dailies for day 3. Now, it's going to look a little different here. And we're going to have a little heart to heart here because I had the epiphany that I had a feeling I was going to have. Um, Doing December dailies with how slowly I work and how methodical and fussy and picky I am. Just doing the one page takes me half an hour, and then uploading the page takes half an hour, then editing the page can take upwards of half an hour, and then uploading it again can take another half an hour. And before I know it, I've actually used up 2 hours of my day. I can't do it. And I've been thoroughly enjoying it. So I am still going to do it. I am just not going to tape the entire 30-minute process for every single time. I will try and do it maybe every fourth day or so. And that will be our little visit that day, as I'll take the 30 minutes and do the work on camera. And the other days, I will just show you what I did, explain what day it works for, and why I made the choices I made, and maybe a little bit of the story behind, because each of my, I went and let that, okay, I'm already getting off topic. Each of my entries actually has to do with a Christmas memory that either I have or else that I've been told by usually my mother. My dad didn't talk too much about his childhood Christmases. But my mom talked about her childhood Christmases with me quite often. And I think it's because um, we had quite a patriarchal kind of style to our family. The boys were the ones that were helping out dad, and I was the girl, and I was in the kitchen with my mom or else sewing or that. I mean, that's the way it was done back then. Now I love children. They can help out with dad or help out with mom or you know what I mean. So, but in my case, I do think I did spend more time with my mother because it was it was sort of assumed that as the daughter, I would be the one in the kitchen with her. Whereas when I was raising my children, my boys were equally in the kitchen as much as my girls were. They and I was happy to have any help I could get. Anyhow, so December 3 dailies. Let me find it because my book is getting full. It's, as I said, as I keep mentioning, sorry for the repetitiveness. This is a no-sew journal, so I can take the pages in and out as I wish. Here is my list from Barbara. And for day 3, I chose add a tag. And then for my list challenge, I chose to write about my mother's Christmas tree growing up, which I found fascinating as a child, and it's a story that's always stayed with me. So let me find the page. I think I've already got it into the second signature here. Here it is. So it is, I made the tag, and I'll explain how I came to my choice with what's on this page. Underneath, at the time I made it, I thought I was going to make a pocket, and then I changed my mind. So underneath is actually a whole page from a 1987 sort of appointment type book. And it has December in several different languages up there. And it was too wide, so I saved the outer edge here because I just love when pages have the punch holes in them. So I put that down first because I wasn't sure how I was going to approach that, how collaging this together. This page here of the little girl looking at the Noma lights. It was a beautiful big advertisement from a 1958 newspaper on the Noma electric lights. And they all stay lit because it used to be if one light bulb burnt out, the whole string burned out. So these were, I just thought I loved this because, first of all, it's vintage. And these are the lights I remember as a child. In 1958, that makes sense because I was born in 59. So these are very much, they were painted over, they were clear glass, and then it was like they were dipped in paint. So they glowed different colors. And usually people had colored lights on their trees, which I loved. It looked very cheery. Anyhow, I loved this whole thing. And at first I thought, oh, I'm just going to keep the lights. And then I thought, oh, but I got to have that beautiful little child. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute, Santa's coming through the window. You can see him. And before I knew it, I wanted the whole thing. So I glued it all down. And then I knew I wanted to make a tag out of this. I saved it. I have a book. It's a reprint, sort of like when you can get those reprints of Sears and Roebuck. And this is a reprint of the Carl P. Stern catalog from 1893. And it's just marvelous drawings and etchings and the prices for what was in their catalog for toys, children's toys. But it also had a section on Christmas decorations. And that's where I got this part of the book, because you can see here it says Christmas tree candles. And that's what sparked a memory for me, because I remember vividly my mother telling me about her Christmas trees growing up. Usually they got their Christmas tree on the day of Christmas Eve. And that wasn't in and of itself unusual. Back then, Christmas wasn't a month-long thing. Hallmark wants it to be a month-long thing because we can spend more money. And it's just become longer and longer. But back then, Christmas was a lovely holiday, but it wasn't this weeks and weeks and weeks of buildup. So she said that her dad would go out and get a live tree, a fresh tree, and bring it home. And usually, maybe even the day before, because it would they'd hammer wood into the base like that to hold it up. And that way the branches could settle down. And then it went up on the morning of Christmas Eve. And she said they would decorate it. And their trees always had Christmas candles for a number of reasons. She said they couldn't afford, electric lights were quite new back then. My mom was born in 27, so she grew up, she was a child in the 30s and early 40s, a young woman. They couldn't afford to buy electric Christmas lights for such a frivolous thing to use 3 days of the year. But they had the little clips of the candle holders that you clip on the branches of the trees. But again, this was the Depression. Money was tight. So she said her mother always found a way to budget, and they would get enough candles so they could light their tree on Christmas Eve, and then they could light their tree on Christmas Day night. So she said they actually only saw their tree all sparkling and glowing for 2 days. And even then, it wasn't for very long, because it was for however long the candles would burn for. And at first, I remember saying to her, oh, did that make you sad? And she said, no. She said, we didn't know any different. And to us, it was even more magical because of that. We knew it was going to be such a brief time that we just took it all in and enjoyed however long those candles burned for. And she said it just made it even more magical. And I really loved her attitude about that. It just shows you it doesn't have to be weeks and months to make an impression upon a little young mind and heart. So I wrote all about it back here on this tag. And but I loved it because it's Christmas tree candles. And here's a Christmas tree with electric lights, and even that is vintage. So someday grandchildren may look at this and go, wow, that's what Christmas lights look like. Now you can buy modern ones that have been made to look like these old vintage lights, which is really cool. But I'm old enough to remember the real deal. So that was my choice for what day? Hold on. I'm already losing track, and we're not even through the first week. For day 3, I made a tag from Barbara's prompt list, and I told the story of my mother's Christmas candles on her Christmas tree. So there we go. That's my December daily for day 3. Thanks for visiting with me. I may put a video up later on today. I'm not sure yet. I've got so much work on my desk. I'm still working on Sleepy Owl, and I'm still working on Holly. So, but now I can do more work on it because I'm not taking up so much time uploading and editing and downloading. And oh boy. Have a great day, everyone. We'll talk soon. Bye.